studios in Lincoln. 1011 News at 10 starts now.
The severe weather and tornado damage are our top stories on 1011 News at 10. Good evening, I'm Bridget Vargin.
Hi everyone, I'm Owen Jensen. 1011's been working to track the storms and damage since the moment they broke around 4 o'clock this afternoon. We've seen at least 24 tornado warnings since the storm started in our coverage area.
That is amazing. Look at all that debris. It's going right downtown.
Angela Alsman caught that tornado in Roseland on her phone. She says it went 1 block east of Main Street in the town of 235 people. Adams County Emergency Management told our crews on scene 3 homes were destroyed and 10 to 12 others were damaged.
Now here's a look at the damage that tornado caused. We've partnered with our sister station, NBC Nebraska, to bring you the best coverage. Families in that town are without homes tonight. Trees are ripped out of the ground. We're told one woman took cover in her bathtub as her house was moved off of her foundation by the storm. Thankfully, though, everybody is okay.
Massive inflow, holy cow. Look at the debris.
And about an hour away in Hardy, Nebraska, which is in Nuckolls County, right along the Nebraska-Kansas border, here's another tornado captured on camera by Jeff Thies. Our crew on scene spoke with the fire department there, who says it was just too dangerous to go into the town tonight. And
here's a look at the damage that tornado caused. Cami Eitzman sent us these pictures from the Hardy area. This is a farm that appears to be badly damaged or just destroyed. Here's a look at a tree that's fallen on what looks like a bridge, blocking any traffic trying to get through. And then this shows you just how strong the winds were. The roof ripped off of this home. It's the same situation near Ruskin. That's about 60 miles southeast of Roseland. This picture from Deb Musman of a damaged hog house. And this video shot by David Reuter of a tornado near Belleville, Kansas. That's in Republic County, just south of the Nebraska-Kansas border. The Republic County dispatch told me 1 home was destroyed. 2 people were trapped inside, but crews were able to rescue those people, and they're okay tonight. They didn't have to go to the hospital. Also, a feedlot was damaged, and there's reports of cows killed. Now, our 1011 weather team has been working very hard tracking this massive storm since its inception. As for what's happening right now, here's Ken with the very latest. Ken?
Bridget, Owen, will start with what we think are the most significant things, including the tornado watch that continues in effect until 2 a.m. tomorrow morning for portions of southeastern Nebraska and northern Kansas. Storm Prediction Center folks are trying to indicate that as a low-level jet increases, that's increasing wind 5,000 to 8,000 feet off the ground, we could see an expansion of this watch, either some additional tornado watch counties to the north of this particular area, or perhaps a severe thunderstorm watch. But tornado watch continues for these counties shaded in yellow across southeastern Nebraska, northern Kansas, including Lincoln and Lancaster County. We'll also check out storm tracker radar here. This is on the loop mode over the past 3 hours, and you can see the movement of these storms continuing to redevelop off to the south and west. We can call that training. So some areas are going to continue to see tremendous amounts of rainfall, as well as some additional severe weather threats as we move into the late night hours. As we're looking at storm tracker radar here, I want to remind the folks in northeast Jewell, you're under a tornado warning until 10:15. Folks in northwest Clay, northeastern Cloud, and southwestern Washington counties in northern Kansas, also under a tornado warning until 10:15. Also have severe thunderstorm warnings for eastern Jefferson and southwest Gage County in Nebraska until 10:15, and for other locations in Jewell County, a severe thunderstorm warning until 10:15. We also want to mention a flash flood warning that's been issued for northern Saline, northwest Gage, Lancaster County, and southeastern Seward County. Already up to 2 inches of rain have fallen in some locations, and another 1 to 2, perhaps even 2 to 3 inches of rain going to be possible in some of these areas. So that is going to lead to some additional flash flooding concerns. This flash flood warning for northern Saline, northwest Gage, Lancaster, and southeast Seward in effect until 12:30 tomorrow morning. A couple of additional radar stops. We'll check out level 2 radar here over southern portions of Nebraska. You can see the severe thunderstorm warning that continues for portions of Gage and Jefferson County because of this particular cell right here. You can also see the line of very heavy thunderstorms that continues to the north and west of that warned area. And then this is Jewell County. We've had, counted it up, over a dozen tornado warnings involving portions of Jewell County in northern Kansas throughout the late afternoon and evening, and they continue, at least portions of the county continues under another one right now. If we widen out the view, you're going to see thunderstorms that continue from the southeastern portions of the Lincoln Metro back towards the south and west to south of Superior into northern Kansas. And again, this activity across Lancaster County is non-severe, but continuing to see some very heavy rains. We're also looking at get a little bit better look at that severe thunderstorm cell over portions of Jefferson and Gage County, and the very heavy rains that continue in a line from around Crete to Wilbur back to the south and west between Hebron and Nelson, and then on into northern Kansas. And then there's the activity, including this tornado producing cell here just to the south of Washington, Kansas. So that's very significant. This particular warning did have a confirmed tornado on the ground at one time. So again, one more look at that loop over the past couple of hours. Here's the flash flood watch counties, about a half a dozen. Don't be surprised if those get expanded, and there are more counties included in a flash flood watch for late tonight, early tomorrow morning. Upper 50s and lower 60s across much of the coverage area right now. Here's a look at that satellite radar and the training that continues to take place. Ripple in the atmosphere over southeastern Nebraska and northern Kansas, really not allowing these storms to make much of an easterly movement, so some of the same areas continue to be inundated not only by severe weather but by significant rains. We'll have complete forecast details. Some of us could see another round of strong to severe storms tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow evening. We'll have complete forecast details. Bridget and Owen coming up in just a little bit.
All right, Ken, see you in a moment. Well, taking another look at a tornado caught on camera, this time by storm spotters.
Yeah, this is video from Severe Studios of a big tornado in Scandia, Kansas and Republic County. It happened around 5:45 tonight. The Severe Studio storm spotter says the tornado eventually moved into the Nebraska towns of Chester and Hebron. Now, the Red Cross sent a disaster response team to Roseland almost immediately after the storm.
They're working to take care of immediate needs in the community, like food, clothes, and a place to stay, of course. 1011's Eamon O'Mara was there right after the storm. Has more.
It was a scary afternoon in Roseland after a reported tornado came through, downing power lines in the streets and sending debris throughout the area, something that members of this community tell me they are not used to.
It's like what you see on TV. Never thought I would see it in real life.
Cleo Musil was at work when she says she watched the Roseland tornado form and begin tearing through town.
I saw one cloud and then I saw it dissipate, and then I saw two clouds meet as one. And then we could hear the sound of a train. Our ears started popping because of the air pressure, and we went down to our locker room.
It was nerve-wracking for everyone, but parents tell us it was much worse for children.
For the kids, they were scared. I can totally understand why they were scared. You're hearing sirens and hearing the wind. I mean, they don't know what's going on.
Combine not understanding everything with how much damage this tornado did to the small town.
Just a couple windows broken, stuff like that. That's easy stuff to fix compared to everybody else in town.
We have 3 houses that were pretty much totally destroyed. We have 10, 12 houses that are anywhere from minor to major damages.
But most people should be able to sleep in their own homes tonight after all the work community members put in after the storm.
Me and my buddy ran outside right after it passed, and we'd seen the neighbor's house garage gone, so we ran over to her place and marched pars and make sure she was all right. We started going around and looking at everybody else's house and make sure everybody else is all right.
The help is welcome, but officials don't want people not from town to think they should come too, because police have closed off roadways into town to keep everyone safe.
Right now, we don't want nobody in that don't need to be here unless they're direct family members to help families other than our guys on the department.
Emergency Manager Chip Volchek says at this point he feels they have everything under control.
We've been in contact with NEMA, the Nebraska Emergency Management Agency. They've been in contact with Lieutenant Governor already, just to keep appraised of what's going on down here.
So now the community begins to rebuild. We are told, thankfully, there were no reported injuries in this reported tornado, but law enforcement officials tell us people can be injured, so they're hoping that everyone remains safe during the cleanup process. Reporting in Roseland, I'm Eamon O'Mara. Back to you in the studio.
All right, thank you very much, Eamon. Meanwhile, here in Lincoln, we were under a tornado warning about an hour and a half ago, and we've seen some heavy rain for several hours now.
Yeah, it caused brief flooding near 48th and Highway 2, but that's cleared. Now police are concerned about 9th and R Streets. 1011's Josh Collins is live in that area. Josh?
Hey guys, well this is kind of one of those tricky areas with water on the roads here. This water here may not look like it's that deep. It has in fact gone down a little bit since we've been out here for the last 10 or 15 minutes. We're right under the overpass at 9th and R Street, just about a block away from us, a block southwest. There's a Courtyard Marriott, and then a couple blocks south is the Holiday Inn Hotel. Now the water's maybe only a couple of inches. Cars have been able to get through it okay, but there's not very good lighting over here. So we've received the tip that it could be kind of a dicey situation. It's something to definitely keep an eye out for if you happen to drive in this area. We're continuing to monitor it. Again, it looks like some of the water has gone down. In fact, it's fallen a little bit under the curb right now. But again, we'll keep an eye on this. Cars seem to be getting through right now, but we'll keep you updated. For now, we'll send it back to you in the studio.
That was Josh Kelms reporting from inside his car at that flood scene. Sometimes you just have to do what you have to do on the fly. Thank you, Josh. Well, an Army ROTC student at UNO knew exactly what to do when a student pulled a knife at the library this morning.
Witnesses say it all started when one student asked Leo Labagan to be quiet with his cell phone. An argument then started and Labagan pulled a knife. That's when Brandon Valley, who has 12 years of service in the Army and ROTC and is training on how to respond to situations like these, tackled Labagan. But it doesn't end there. Witnesses say Labagan then pulled out a second knife and threatened to harm other students. When police got there, officers found a third knife. The 22-year-old faces 4 charges.
And new charges have been added in the case of a former Lincoln teacher who admitted to having a sexual relationship with a student. 22-year-old Jackson Hedrick now faces 2 counts of contributing to the delinquency of a child, along with first-degree sexual assault and enticement by electronic device. Hedrick was set to be arraigned this morning in district court. On the 27th, he filed a waiver of the appearance and entered a plea of not guilty. According to court reports, Hedrick told investigators he sent sexual text messages to a 14-year-old student and had sexual contact with her. Well, sentencing has been reset for the student found guilty of posting a bomb threat on a social media site. Ryan Boyer was found guilty of attempted use of an explosive, a misdemeanor, back in March. The 18-year-old sentencing was continued until May 13th. Boyer is a former York high school student who was arrested after posting a bomb threat on February 16th on a social media app called Yik Yak. The threatening post said, quote, "Tomorrow is going to be an explosive fun day at YHS."
Being in the right place at the right time allowed one woman to help save a neighbor being attacked by a dog. Authorities say this dog bit its 29-year-old owner this afternoon. A neighbor was outside on the phone when they heard screams at a nearby house and quickly ran to find out what was wrong. The neighbor says they saw a lot of blood and called 911 quickly. The victim was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Her neighbor says she did what she needed to and hopes her neighbors would do the same.
Look after each other, and you know, this is our community, so we have to take care of it. So, and it takes a village to raise a family, so all of us having ears open and watching the neighbors.
Michelle Haynes and her co-worker applied first aid. They both work in the medical field. The victim's relatives say she's doing fine tonight. Animal Control says the dog is in mandatory post-bite observation and the dog's fate is unknown.
Well, global warming and drought, many people are worried about how it will affect them. The chief science advisor to President Obama, John Holdren, talked with university leaders and professors about climate changes today. This includes heat waves, flooding, and drought. This is after a national climate assessment released last year. Holdren says scientists at UNL did some work for that assessment, including one specifically for Nebraska.
Being very proactive, very deliberate in some of the things that we're thinking about. What are some solutions that we can take to these complex problems?
Hayes says these talks with the federal branch is helpful because it raises awareness and people can take the action needed to help the climate.
Thousands of Garth Brooks fans will invade Omaha starting tomorrow for 6 sold-out shows at the CenturyLink Center. And here's what you need to know for parking. Doors open at 5:30 p.m. for the 7 o'clock shows, and it's expected to open at 10 o'clock for the 2 10:30 shows on Friday and Saturday night. If you're heading to either of those late shows, it's advised you park at Midtown Crossing, Creighton, or in City of Omaha lots and then take a shuttle. Parking in the Mecca lots is $8. We have all the shuttle time information and where those lots are on our 1011 News mobile app.
And you're looking at a Garth Brooks fan right here, right?
Yeah, I'm going on Saturday night. Pretty excited.
Excellent. Well, stick around. We've got a lot more to come. Ken will be back in a moment with the latest on your floor.
Certainly, we appreciate your patience this evening, folks, with all of the tornado and severe thunderstorm interruptions. Here's a look at that tornado watch that continues in effect for portions of southeastern Nebraska and northern Kansas. Remember, if you're in one of these yellow shaded counties, including Lancaster County, you're under a tornado watch until 2 a.m. on Thursday morning. Certainly possible that some additional counties may be added according to the Storm Prediction Center, but we'll make sure that we keep you updated on that if something like that would indeed happen. Here's a look at Storm Tracker radar. Again, this is the activity over the past 3 hours or so. Can't get to a radar without some updated information here. And Brandon Rector, Rusty Dawkins have been doing a great job in the Weather Center with all of their expertise. This evening we've got a new tornado warning. This one's going to be in effect for southeastern Nuckolls County until 11 o'clock, so we'll take a close look at that on radar in just a second. We also have a new tornado warning for Washington County and Kansas, also until 10:45. So you're going to see those polygons popping up on the screen here at the end of this loop. Again, this loop is over the last 3 hours, and I like to show it to you just so you can see that some of the same areas have been absolutely blasted and inundated with severe weather throughout the evening hours over portions of southeastern Nebraska, south central Nebraska, and across northern Kansas. So there's our situation as far as the regional radar is concerned. Now we'll check out level 2 radar, and we'll start you off with where we have some of these warnings. And again, this is going to be southeast Nuckolls County. This is the newest tornado warning here in effect until 11 o'clock. A severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado was located near Weber, Kansas, moving to the northeast at 25 miles an hour. This is, again, a radar-indicated tornado, but certainly the track record, some of these storms have been for these storms to drop tornadoes on the ground. So we don't. So we want you to take the necessary precautions if you're in these warned areas or near these warned areas. So that's a tornado warning for southeast Nuckolls until 11. We also have a tornado warning until 10:45 for Washington County in north central Kansas. That's this particular cell here. Looks very, very heavy. You folks in Washington, Kansas need to be getting to your safe locations. And obviously, if this storm continues to move to the northeast at 30 miles an hour, that could put it back into the Jefferson and Gage County areas later on tonight. So something we'll keep a very close eye on. That storm moving to the northeast at 30 miles per hour. We also have a tornado warning till 10:45 for this portion of northeast Jewell. Now Jewell County is at a baker's dozen as far as tornado warnings are concerned this evening. 13 separate warnings for portions of Jewell County in Kansas with severe thunderstorm warnings. We also have other portions of Jewell County under a severe thunderstorm warning. Also southern or southeastern Webster and southwestern Nuckolls with severe thunderstorm warning area here. That's until 11 o'clock tonight. The possibility of 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. So be prepared for that. If we widen out the view a little bit, you're going to get a little bit better idea of the line of thunderstorms that continues very heavy from around the Lincoln Metro and then back towards the south and west to those warned areas. We also want to remind everybody that a flash flood warning is in effect for northern Saline, northwest Gage, Lancaster, and southeastern Seward until 12:30 tomorrow morning. We could be looking at anywhere from 2 to 4, maybe even in excess of 5 inches of rainfall by the time some of these storms come to an end. And in fact, we do have a report from the amateur radio operators of flash flooding up to a foot of water on eastbound Interstate 80 at exit 395, about 5 miles west of Lincoln. So that would be in this some of this area right here where the precipitation continues to come down and come down very, very heavily. So that's the latest situation there. We want to take you to the regular graphics now and also check out this flash flood watch we mentioned. Not only have we had severe weather, tornadoes, hail, damaging winds, but tremendous amounts of rain. So flash flood watches, and now this deeper shade of green is also the flash flood warnings. You can see which areas of the state have been hit so very hard over the past several hours. And a quick look at our storm reports. Look at this. Reports of 32 tornadoes, at least 32 tornado reports now over portions of south central Nebraska and across northern portions of Kansas. We've had up to 5 reports of severe hail, 4 reports of wind damage. So we're talking about significant events so far, and it's ongoing in some locations, and that's bad news. Here's a check of the 24-hour precipitation totals in official reporting stations. But remember, if you're not an official reporting station, some locations have had 1, 2, 3, up to 4, 5 inches of rainfall, and it continues to rain in some locations. So flooding will continue to be an issue at the airport. We're at about 1 2/3 inches right now, 1 1/4 inches in York, and then don't be surprised if some amounts tomorrow are in excess of 4 or 5 inches. Readings right now are in the 50s and 60s, 62 in Lincoln, 60 degrees in Grand Island. Here's a look at the satellite radar loop over the past 6 hours, and you can see counterclockwise spin. That is our upper level area of low pressure. Later on tonight, as a low level jet continues to feed moisture and convergence into our upper level disturbance, we are going to continue to see the possibility of some additional strong to severe storms late tonight into the very early morning hours on Thursday. The regional satellite radar shows us the same thing. At the surface, it looks like this, a huge huge cluster of thunderstorms, especially over south central, southeastern Nebraska and across northern Kansas. Eventually, by tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, that lifts to the north. Could still see a little bit of scattered precipitation, but nothing significant. Here's the frontal boundary that I'm worried about tomorrow afternoon and evening. Ahead of that front in eastern and southeastern Nebraska, we could see another round of strong to severe thunderstorms developing, especially over southeastern Nebraska and across some portions of northern Kansas. Then that activity will wane late tomorrow night into early tomorrow morning. Looks like Friday will be a cloudy, cooler day with at least a chance for some showers and isolated thunderstorms, but no severe weather. As far as the next couple of days are concerned, we are looking at breezy conditions on Thursday. Still a 50% chance for thunderstorms, and unfortunately some of those could be strong to severe as we get near 80 in Lincoln. Then a 40% chance of rain and isolated thunderstorms on Friday, but that should be a non-severe event. On Saturday, it should be fairly quiet until later in the day when we could be looking at some strong storms Saturday night into Sunday. So again, unsettled weather continues. That tornado watch continues until 2 a.m. tomorrow morning for southeastern Nebraska and across northern Kansas, and we continue to get tornado warnings even at this late hour. So the watch was issued at about 1:30, the first tornado watch, 1:30 this afternoon, and here we are 9, almost 10 hours later. We're still talking about tornado thunderstorms producing tornadoes in some locations.
A crazy weather day is an understatement. I had a guy call from Ohio. I can't confirm this, but they said they had 7 inches of rain down there. Now,
oh my gosh.
I mean, again, can't confirm it, but a gentleman called in, and I'm sure we're going to hear those big numbers like you mentioned.
And we just want to say nice job to you and the 10-11 weather
Yes.
team, the Nebraska Weather Network. You guys have been phenomenal all night long, letting people know what's going on.
Thank you very much. It's our job. I work with the best guys in the business, that's for sure, and so we appreciate the patience that everyone had with us tonight. But things really turned serious in a hurry, and it was really hard to get off of that severe weather coverage for a while. So we'll hope things will start to quiet down, but we're a little concerned that we're going to see several more warnings in some locations before the night is over.
All right, Ken, we're going to change the subject a little bit here, going on to sports. Thank you, Ken. Tonight's weather affected the local sports scene. One team's hopes of a state soccer berth is on hold.
Plus, a bubble-blowing competition among softball players. Find out who blew the biggest bubble and why they were doing it. That's next.
Now, your award-winning local sports coverage. Here's 10-11's Kevin Suits.
The NCAA tournament starts next week, and the Nebraska softball team is on.
He did it.
The bubble. It's an ironic place to be, considering Rhonda Revelle throws out double bubble to the crowd at each home game.
I'm Lottie Shalin. I'm a sophomore outfielder.
6.5 weeks ago, we had a losing record. So we're on the bubble.
I'm Taylor. I'm a freshman outfielder.
It's not fun to know that you're kind of sitting on ice, but you just got to go with it.
I'm Maddie Fowler, a junior first baseman.
It's really different from freshman World Series and then sophomore year Super Regionals and now this year on the bubble of trying to get into postseason.
There are times, there are years gone by that, you know, if I said we were on the bubble, I wouldn't be feeling great about it. But the fact that we've worked our way back to the bubble is a real testament to this team.
I'm Alicia Armstrong, a junior shortstop.
I think somebody had said something about protecting our bubble, and I thought, hey, we could blow bubble gum.
We get upset when all the gum's gone, but
for the fans, maybe.
Sure,
just
well,
to chew on something. I don't know.
I did have the dental college come over one day and want to know if we could go sugar-free. I am not kidding. That's a true story.
Hi, I'm Cassie McClure. I'm a sophomore pitcher.
It'd be wonderful to be able to roll 3 games out and come out with a conference championship, and we wouldn't even need to be talking about this. It's hard to win it. You know, there are 12 teams, 12 good teams there. So, you know, either way, we want to come out with some sort of victory.
We are Nebraska softball.
Oh, now no doubt Cassie McClure can blow the biggest bubble. Now each player was allowed to use up to 3 pieces conducted by 10-11, and you had to play the win today. The Huskers head to the Big Ten tournament tomorrow. They're trying to win their way out of a sticky situation. 5 Huskers earned all-conference recognition today. Sophomore MJ Knighton was a unanimous selection. Steph Pasquale and Kiki Stokes were also first-team picks. Pitcher Emily Lockman is an honoree for the 3rd time of her career. Lottie Shalin earned a league sportsmanship award. Congrats to all. High school soccer, Lincoln Southwest taking on Columbus. Winner clinches a spot at state. Early first half, LSW's Michael Hilton ahead to Cole Quant, but Christian Stutzman comes in to disrupt the scoring chance. Still 0-0. The Discoverers discovered some offense. Colin Cruz to Miguel Barrios Perez. His header just wide. That's all these two teams would get in. The game was postponed due to inclement weather. The contest will be continued tomorrow starting at 1 o'clock. It'll move to Beechner Field in Lincoln. A few games were completed tonight. Lincoln East shuts out Millard South 1-0. The Spartans are headed to state despite a sub-500 record. North Platte loses to Millard West. That game was called early due to weather. And Omaha West Side blanks Columbus. Rainy day at the Heartland Athletic Conference track and field meet. Typically, Fremont dominates on the boys' side. The Tigers caught in the 3,200-meter relay. Blendon Whites runs the anchor leg for Lincoln Southwest. They had the comeback win. Elsa Forsberg, she's having a fantastic junior season. She won gold at both the Harold Scott Invite and the LPS Championships. Why don't we add the conference title as well? She won the 2-mile run. Lincoln North Star runner-up finish for the Navigators. Dina Leto breaks the 1 minute mark in the 400-meter dash, and one of the top throwers in the state, that's Shelby Brown. She wins another hack title. She was a state discus champion 2 years ago. She's looking for another gold this spring. She is signed to compete at Nebraska. Well, Alfonso Dennard wasn't on the free agent market very long, less than 24 hours. Dennard today was claimed by the Arizona Cardinals less than a day after being released by the Patriots. Dennard is a 3-year pro who started 20 games in the NFL. The division-leading Kansas City Royals, never too early to say that. Danny Duffy roughed up tonight for KC, didn't make it out of the second inning. Lonnie Chisenhall puts the Indians in front 2-0. They would go up by 5. The Royals would try to rally. Kendrys Morales knocks in his 4th home run of the season, but it is too much Cleveland, 10-3. Guys, I brought you some bubble gum. Would you like to finish the newscast out with some?
Let's do it.
I'm not very good at blowing bubbles.
You only have one time in your career to chew gum on the air.
To make a fool of myself, if I can get the wrapper.
I want you guys to read this next thing.
Keep the audience amused while we're doing this here.
We'll
I want to see if you can blow the bubble. No, I'm not doing any more bubbles. You can't do it with fresh gum.
We're being told that.
Go, Jensen.
There you go.
Come on, Bridget.
Right there.
I'm gonna have to do
You're
it
not
at the end
supposed to
of the
see your
break.
gum.
We gotta get to a break.
We'll be back next.
Yeah, let's go to the break. What happened with this?
A train hauling crude oil from North Dakota's oil patch derailed today and caught fire.
It was carrying Bakken oil loaded in the Tioga area, that's in North Dakota. Today's derailment follows a string of oil train fires linked to the volatile crude from the Bakken region. It's the first time since the state in April required companies to reduce the volatility of Bakken crude before it can be transported. Now, there are questions about whether the new standard is sufficient. No injuries were reported.
Crash investigators say the German co-pilot who slammed a jetliner into a French mountainside in March practiced the suicide mission on the same plane just 2 hours earlier on another flight. Andreas Lubitz put the plane into descent mode 5 times in 4.5 minutes and then brought it up again. And just like during the deadly flight, the captain appeared to have left the cockpit. Then on the trip from Barcelona to Dusseldorf, the plane slammed into the Alps, killing all people on board.
And SpaceX tested its new launch escape system for astronauts. No humans were on board the mock capsule for today's 90-second test flight from Cape Canaveral, Florida. The Dragon capsule soared about a mile up before it parachuted into the Atlantic, where it will be recovered. SpaceX aims to launch U.S. astronauts to the International Space Station in 2017. Boeing is designing its own crew capsule. NASA wants to ensure commercial crew flights will be safe and is insisting on reliable escape systems.
And we'll update your forecast next.
Busy day, kind of, Ken?
Yeah, busy night. Let's get right to the graphics and tell you about that tornado watch that remains in southeastern Nebraska, northern Kansas until 2 a.m. tomorrow morning officially. We'll keep an eye on particularly these areas of 1011 country for the next several hours. As far as storm tracker radar is concerned, we continue with tornado warnings for Washington County in Kansas. That is the area just to the west of Marysville on the bottom of your screen. That's a tornado warning until 10:45. We also have a tornado warning that remains in effect for southeastern Nuckolls County in south central Nebraska until 11 o'clock So still some possible tornado-producing thunderstorms out there. Severe thunderstorm warnings continue for northwest Gage until 11, northwest Jewell, southeast Webster, and southwest Knuckles. Severe thunderstorm warnings until 11. Flash flood warnings for northern Saline, northwest Gage, Lancaster, and southeastern Seward until 12:30 tomorrow morning. 12:30 a.m. Midnight, just past midnight. Report of 6 inches of water over the road at 66th and O, and 6 inches of water over the road at 56th and A here in the capital city, and we are looking at more tremendous amounts of rainfall moving through, especially the southern portions of the Lincoln Metro. So we're going to keep a very close eye on radar for the next few hours, maybe the next several hours, and keep folks updated throughout the overnight.
All right, great job tonight, Ken.
Great
And
job.
follow with 1011now.com, 1011 News mobile app, and all the tweets and Facebook posts from these guys. They'll keep you up to date.
Have a good night.